It is the RIOT. Welcome to the podcast. We had some technical.
Happy day after Valentine's, whenever you're listening to this again. We shouldn't put days on things.
A couple of technical difficulties. We've overcome them, and we've got a show. So hope you are enjoying President's Day. If you're listening now, you're probably at a mattress store trying out various mattresses. We hope it goes well. Okay, stuff we talk about in the show today. My Little Pony. What President Biden did for Valentine's Day. Shows that actually didn't get picked up by the CW.
That's a shocker to hear about this one.
About a bunch of fish straight tripping on Prozac. We talk a little Spotify, a little Space Heaters, some Zach Ryan's Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League. So, I mean, we'll keep you busy. We got stuff.
So enjoy the podcast today. And as always, text and say hello, 877 to RadioU or through RadioU.com anytime you want to say hey.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
It's the worst of the riot on RadioU.
Well, today is President Biden Day. You're like, no, it's not. Yeah, it is. It's President's Day. Are you president? I'm not president. Nikki, are you president?
I'm not president.
Well, then it seems to me that it must be President Biden Day.
Well, any of the presidents.
It is President's Day today, and over the weekend, President Biden spent the Valentine's weekend at Camp David, which is like the presidential retreat. It's where they can go and spend some time and just be themselves, Don't feel all that pressure to be presidential. Just hang.
Well, it's nice to have, a place you can go to just to relax.
Yeah, we all need that. Now, we don't all have that.
But we would like it.
We all need that.
But we don't have it.
Yeah. So, President Trump didn't use Camp David very much. And so, Biden was there. He was there with his his family, his grandkids, and his granddaughter, Naomi. Did she tweet it? She put it on TikTok, whatever. She posted a video of her and Grandpa, that being President Biden, playing Mario Kart. And you're like, to me, that's not that impressive. I got probably 3 things that play Mario Kart at home. But here's the difference. They have Mario Kart arcade machines at Camp David.
Oh, so it's kind of like if you go, for us, if you go to the Wing Place, there's the sit-down arcade-style games.
Exactly that.
That one's for Mario Kart.
Oh, Nikki. Oh.
We could use that here in the studio. We have a nice empty corner. That'd be perfect.
Finally, they have gotten to a perk of being president that truly interests me. I mean, everything else, like get your own plane, and you're like, but I got to fly it and then meet everybody when I get off the plane. Every time I deplane, there's press, I don't want any of that. I love this.
Do they make Mario Kart, do they make that that you can buy, or is this a perk of being a president?
Well, I mean, if you have the money, there are arcade machines. You could buy them if you wanted to. I mean, what would you pay? I didn't even think about that. Let's see. Mario Kart arcade machine price. Let's see if I can get a price on it. I feel like this might be
a little bit more expensive than the Miss Pac-Man ones we were looking at not too long ago.
Okay, real talk. Like, how much do you think?
Well, when I saw it, I thought, well, maybe like what, $8,000 or $10,000 maybe, but that seems high.
No. That's about right. Buying directly from the pinball company, you can get it for $11,000.
Ooh, if you really want it. And is that a pair or is that just one?
It's just one.
Oh, I feel like you need a pair.
See, the thing is, though, some people might be like, I can't believe the government paid for this. When you compare what the government pays for all kinds of insane things like toilet seats and hammers, $11,000 so the president can pay Mario Kart seems just downright reasonable.
Yeah, but I want them to pan back. I want to see what else is in the room. What else do we have video game wise?
Oh, what if there's a whole arcade there?
Could be.
That would be amazing.
I'm sure you can get some pretty good deals on some units, so you could get some more in there.
I'll bet I don't know this, but I'll bet President Obama is the one that put Mario Kart in there.
I think so?
Trump didn't, but Obama had his kids, and he was probably just like, look how cool your dad is. He's president. And they're like, Dad, we don't care. And then he's like, your cool president dad just put in Mario Kart. See, our dad is so cool.
We would have wanted Mario Kart there and also while we were at the White House. So we'd have to have a lot of them.
Yeah, well, I'm going to be announcing my 2024 presidential bid soon. Soon.
And is it just on the platform that you hope to be able to experience Mario Kart like that?
Yes. Don't say it like it's a bad thing.
And
Please
we're
don't
not
say it like
changing
it's a bad
times
thing.
anymore, and that's it. You'll win.
Done. I want my own Mario Kart machine, and just for you, there will no longer be a daylight saving time thing.
You might get
I'm
more
elected
votes
now.
than you
I'm elected
think you
now.
would.
You thought they were bad live? Well, just wait until you hear this. The Worst of the Riot podcast with Obadiah and Nikki.
You know, from where I'm sitting, if you have a show that involves a superhero or a high school and maybe a murder, if you head over to the CW, they'll just make your show.
Well, you might feel right at home there.
I mean, it's just like, oh, let's make it.
Well, that is the formula that they tend to stick with.
It seems like they don't have anything like any kind of a filter over there. Now, I'm sure it's not true, but that's what it feels like. But, Nikki, I have here, in what is no doubt a shocking revelation, a show that has been passed on by the CW.
Oh, what does that say?
I
They do that? I didn't know they did that. Maybe it is not the right fit. That's probably it.
I'll have to tell you, though, to me, it feels like a shoo-in.
Well,
like
what
it
is
feels
it?
like it would be a perfect fit for them. Wonder Girl.
Uh-huh.
Wonder Girl is Wonder Woman's, like, younger sidekick.
And they passed on the show?
They passed.
But she sounds like a teenage girl, or I'm sure they wanted to do the show. Maybe it was just something that didn't work out in their wheel of shows. Like, it just wasn't going to work.
So they didn't even shoot a pilot for it. They wrote a script, and over the weekend, the scriptwriter for the pilot said, "Hey, bad news.
It's not going to be picked
up. Turns out that they are passing on Wonder Girl." Wow, who would have thunk it? Somebody over at the CW knows how to say no.
I feel like to make Wonder Girl feel better, you say, well, I'm sure they pass on a lot of shows. Maybe we just don't hear it. Like maybe those people with the shows that get passed on don't say anything at all.
That's entirely possible. But again, I feel like it just feels like a no-brainer kind of show. Like, of course you could do Wonder Girl.
If it's set in a high school and there's some sort of cape involved, then yes, they would, of course, pick up the show, but not in this case.
I don't know if it's still going on, but like they had Supergirl, they've got Batwoman. Is the Flash still on? See, I don't even know. But
I think it is.
I'm just saying, I just feel like it would fit. That's what I think.
Well, maybe they're going it's a new year. Maybe it's a different direction.
Yeah, or maybe they don't have enough money after Superman and Lois.
That could also be true.
Or is it Lois and Superman? I can't remember. I sure would like to. When does that premiere? Do we have a date on that? Let's see. February 23rd. Wow, really? That's next week.
That's here then. Almost there.
We have something to live for. Wait, I don't think you're supposed to say it that way.
Just be excited about. We're living already.
I hope it's good.
The definition of insanity is putting the riot on again and again and expecting a better result. It's the Worst of the Riot on Radio U.
So, Nikki, I saw this weekend. I guess the best way to say it is I'm getting concerned about Florida. Now, I've always been concerned about Florida. You guys, you got problems.
Well, we get a lot of news stories coming out of Florida, just as a whole.
That are they're bad.
That's all right.
It's not a good thing. But
there's some other states that are just as bad too with news stories. But what's new now that people are mad about?
Okay, Nikki. So what's the biggest problem they have in like South Florida, like the Everglades?
Alligators or the snakes, the big snakes.
Right. So the idea is that people brought Burmese pythons for pets and then probably let them loose in the Everglades so they could run and play and do whatever they wanted.
Well, if say you were in an area where it got more colder and you took your pet that you can't keep anymore and you put it out, it'd probably die. But the problem is the Burmese python really actually did so well in the Everglades that it flourished too much and it kind of took over.
It's kind of like how you were a nerd in high school and then you moved to college and all of a sudden you're flourishing, really.
You're flourishing. You're doing really well and people are concerned.
It's a lot like that. Now, here's the problem. it's a totally invasive species. Like, it's killing everything off in the Everglades. But they're like, yeah, it's just in the Everglades. But guess what they found in Tampa over the weekend?
Oh, they found a Burmese python there?
A huge, pregnant Burmese python.
What was it doing? Like, where was it at?
Well, it was just hanging out.
Was it like in a park or in a more populated area?
No, it was like behind somebody's house.
Oh gosh!
Like, okay, just to keep in mind, like it wasn't at their house. It's not like it was in the guest house. But some people were driving along, and the dialogue is great. So they're driving along, they see the snake, and the one guy says to his mom's like, "Get out there and kill that snake." And he's like, "No way! Look at how big it is." He said, "If that snake gets me, you're not going to be able to help me." And so
good point.
They went back and they got a hook and a shotgun, and they went back and, hey, listen, Nikki, I see that look.
Well, I know, but I'm surprised they would just be okay to go do that. I would have called somebody.
Me too, but, people are different. So this was a 16-foot, 300-pound
Whoa.
Burmese python. They said, now here's what I don't understand. They said it was pregnant.
Yeah.
They said it had over 100 eggs.
Where did those go?
That's what I don't know.
Did they get those?
I don't know if that means if it had 100 eggs, it was about to lay those eggs or whatever. But they said that it was a very pregnant snake that would have led to an infestation in Tampa.
See, the problem is in the Everglades, it is still contained more in an area where it's very much less populated. The concern would be in Tampa. There's a lot of people there. They're coming out of the Everglades, and they're still doing super well, so they're flourishing, and that's bad in areas where you live at, because you don't want to come across a Burmese python.
I'll just tell you right now, they start telling me that there are Burmese pythons in my neighborhood. I'm not really a gun guy. I'm not walking around with a gun. That all changes.
You'll have that and your shovel, and you're carrying them both everywhere.
It all changes. I'm telling you right now, I will start walking around with a gun. It's not for people.
Nope, don't be worried unless you're a Burmese python.
But that snake, I see that 13-foot snake, I'm a waste of fool.
So it's gone. Right? It is dead.
Yeah, they got it.
It was bad enough the first time around, but now it's worse. Don't believe us? Just keep listening. You'll find out soon enough. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
I shaved this weekend.
You did? Oh,
I did.
Gone? Oh, Obi's at home. I can't see him in person. Is it all gone?
It's not all gone. You know what I did? I put a little shout out on Facebook.
Yeah.
And asked for some recommendations. And so what I ended up getting was, I've kind of decided what I would like to have is just a very, very short, I don't even think you would call it a beard.
Is it like a shadow?
Yeah. I like that. It doesn't bother me as much, et cetera, et cetera. And so I got the Philips Norelco One Blade, which has just 3 different sizes.
One blade to rule it all. Is that it?
One blade to bind them.
That's all you need is just the one.
And so, well, that's what I ended up doing. And so I bought this thing, and you know what? Love it.
Yay. So it's at the right length for you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And even, I'll say this, normally if I let it, it basically grew out for 2 or 3 weeks, and then I shaved it. And so it's all kind of this one length. And so normally it feels kind of pokey and whatever. It actually has maintained an odd kind of soft character to it. With it being all the same length.
So that was probably what was bugging you the most about the other. But now that it's down and you just needed to grow it out a little bit more.
I like it.
Yay.
I don't know what everybody else is going to say. I think a lot of people are going to judge me harshly. And
yeah.
By now I should be used to it.
They're going to have something to say. Everybody always does. But that's all right. As long as you're happy with your beard and you like its length, that's all that matters.
I like it. It's not, like I said, it's not going to make everybody happy, but let's face it, I already wasn't making everybody happy.
So, way to be consistent, I guess.
So, it's not that weird.
Well, I'm glad you got your shaver, too. I know you were looking for that.
Yeah, I cannot remember who. Well, I said I had several people recommended, but somebody else even recommended to me getting a case for it. Mm-hmm. And so I ordered a case, which is on the way. But what with Snowmageddon moving across this great nation, I don't know if I'll ever get it.
Well, you're Your beard will be a lot longer by the time it comes in.
It has shipped, or so I've been told.
Maybe the riot would sound better if they spent less time improving their lives at their gym. That was sarcasm. It's the riot on Radio U.
I mean, I'm not in the middle of this stuff, but I've certainly been seeing it on Facebook, Twitter, and in the news. And I'm talking about the wars that are happening between school districts and parents, where parents are like, look, send the freaking kids back to school. And school districts are like, nah, bro, nah.
So even if you're not a part of it, you're still hearing it and you're in the middle.
Right. So there was in Middlesex County in New Jersey, there is a kind of ongoing fight between the school district and a lot of the parents in the school district. And one parent in particular that has been incredibly outspoken at school board meetings and online about getting the district to reopen.
So they've been outspoken about getting them back in schools.
For in-person learning,
gotcha.
Not distance learning. Right. So I don't know where they got the pictures, though I believe it to be social media. A representative from the school board, no, not the board. This was an assistant superintendent, emailed this lady that had been, complaining about this in-person learning, and emailed and said, hey, one of the reasons why we're unable to do in-person learning is because people are not taking social distancing and mask wearing seriously in their private lives. For example, in this photo, it's a group of parents and children that went sledding yesterday, and you'll see that they're not social distancing and they're not wearing masks. In that photo was her family.
Oh, you can't do that. Oh, you can't. It's not like blackmail, but like that's bad. You can't.
He was basically like, hey, and I just want to Yeah. Like, so multiple photos. And so the lady's like furious, like, you're invading our privacy, blah, blah, blah. And I believe the school district's answer was, these are public photos that you
posted yourself
somewhere.
Sure.
So, I mean, it's not, this is not an invasion of privacy. And so parents are furious at the district for sending these photos back to them to say, hey, you're not social distancing, so we have to take care of it. Busted. But like, I'm not defending the school board and I'm not defending the parents. I'm just saying that it's hilarious that it's gotten to the point where we're like, oh yeah, well look what you're doing.
Here, I've got all these pictures on you now. I'm sending them your way.
Oh yeah. I will say there is an element of, do you find how like people do all this stuff on social media, but then they act like nobody sees their social media?
Sure.
It's like, you post a picture of you being out of town, which I was this weekend, and then somebody's like, where'd you go this weekend? I didn't go anywhere. How do you know about that? Stop invading my privacy.
Like, oh, wait. Well, it depends, though, on if your account is, like, private. So if that woman's Facebook page was private, but that person had a friend or knew someone, that's where they
pass the pictures along.
Yeah, that would be where it's absolutely wrong. And we like to think that a person in a school board sort of position would be more mature than maybe the mom was. But, not like that's not how you would probably normally want to respond back. That'd make people mad.
The school district would be like, who's more mature? We're the ones that are trying to help your kids stay in school.
Here's the pictures to prove it, that you're not doing it.
See, look what you're doing. Like, here's the one that's not being mature.
Well, that's what we call escalating. So
yes.
They didn't diffuse it. It escalated way more.
Oh, it escalated, Nikki. It escalated.
A lot.
Time. Yeah. So just a heads up, if you're going to break social distancing rules, I guess be careful about your photos because the school district's watching. Oh, they're watching.
Yeah!
You were one of the lucky few who missed the riot when they were live. Yet here you are.
I also like to live dangerously.
This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Nikki, Andy is texting this morning. He would like to know how your quest has gone to find Canada Dry peach and or dark cherry flavors.
Well, the quest has been, it's not a fail because, with the quest, you're just continuing. You just keep going. But I have not finished my quest yet. I haven't found the peach one yet. He was saying how it was at like a Dollar General's in their area, but I think I only have one near me, and I haven't checked others, so there's no good news. I can buy it on Amazon, but the markup is high.
Yeah. I didn't know. I guess I had forgotten you were looking for it. I should have been on the lookout for it this weekend.
I'm always looking for ginger ale's my drink.
Okay.
That's my thing, and they're coming out with a lot of fun flavors, and the peach one's supposed to be super good, so I'll still be on the lookout for it.
Okay, now let me ask you about this. Did we ever try on our show the most stuff Oreos?
We did, the big ones.
The big ones?
Yeah, it's been a few years, but we tried those.
Okay, we have. All right. I saw some of those over the weekend, and I bought some because I was like, well, I can't remember if we actually got these or not.
We did. In the very beginning when they were like talked about, we made our own. Do you remember how we added cream filling?
Yes.
And then they eventually just came out, and they've been out for, a little bit of time. So yeah, we tried those.
Okay, the other thing I found this weekend is I finally found the Reese's. They're not snack cakes.
It is.
They're supposed to be like breakfast cakes, though, or something.
I think they call them snack cakes, though.
Okay.
On the packaging,
well,
but you found them. Yay!
Shocking.
Woo!
And I just want to say there was only one place that could come through for us. It was a Sheetz.
Was it? Way to go.
It was. So, Sheetz, shout out to you guys for making it happen. We appreciate it.
I drove past the one that they're building closer to us. It looks like it's maybe a month or two away from opening. And when I drove past, I took a picture. I was like, hey.
Yeah.
I was going to post it, but I forgot.
Here's what annoyed me. And I don't know what the rule is for this, but I was driving on a freeway and there was a sign that said Sheetz. And I was like, I need gas. I'll pull over there. And I actually thought, they'll probably have some of the food fight stuff we've been looking for.
Yeah.
And so I pull off and get to the bottom of the exit ramp, and the sign says Sheetz, and it's like, I don't know, like a couple of other gas stations that are like 0.4 miles, 0.3 miles, Sheetz, 4 miles. So I was like, okay, you're telling me I got off the freeway for the Sheetz that's here, and it's 4 miles that way?
Did they not
that does
tell
not
you?
Count.
On the sign, sometimes on the freeway itself, sometimes they'll put the numbers of like how far away it is.
No, there was no counting of that. There was just straight up, like I got to the bottom of the hill and it was like 4 miles. And what's even sadder is I was like, well, all right.
Still going.
So I drove past like Gulf, BP, and drove 4 miles to go get stupid Sheetz gas.
They tricked you, but they knew that you'd be fine with it.
They had me. So I don't know if there's some kind of a rule. I'm pretty sure that like those gas stations and restaurants, I think that's paid placement on those signs.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just a matter of whether you're willing to pay for it or not. But they got me.
So we'll try the Reese's snack cakes. We've got another new Mountain Dew flavor. We've got these new Pringles. We're going to try that sometime, hopefully this week, for a Riot after show, which you can always see our other after shows if you go to RadioU Riot on Facebook and our RadioU Riot YouTube channel. You can watch us just hang out, and we try sometimes on air. We'll try the snacks with you. Other times we'll do it in an after show if, we want to have a little bit more time with it.
All right.
You're listening to The Riot. Let's all work together today to live life with the patience of a Nikki dealing with an Obadiah.
Gotta hang in there and get through it.
You're listening to The Riot.
Nikki, did you know that over the weekend, in fact, it was yesterday, YouTube celebrated its birthday?
I didn't know that YouTube's birthday was on Valentine's Day.
According to what I'm reading right now, it says February 14th, 2005 was the day that YouTube was founded.
Very nice. It's been that long, I guess.
Crazy. What's really crazy to me is it's only 16 years old. So I just... Can you imagine a world without YouTube?
Well, in the beginning when it started, didn't it start with much shorter and then it had to
Way
move?
Shorter.
Yeah, like it was there was definitely a limit to the length of the videos that could be on there, and it was way short. And then over time they grew into being able to add, the things that we have now.
Yeah, in fact, they hit a point. I don't know when this was, but remember when everybody was excited because you could have a video that was 10 minutes long?
I don't.
Yeah. You can have a 10-minute video. This is amazing.
So kind of think like, what TikTok is now. I'm sure give TikTok 16 years and you'll have everything on there.
Yeah, and it's interesting. It's kind of like the way with both YouTube and Twitter. When they started out, like we've come to expect shorter videos, but that format was really about the limitation of the technology. It's like with Twitter. I mean, I know they do 280 characters now, but 140 characters, that had to do with how your phone pinged the wireless tower. And so they were able to bury that many characters, and you could text a tweet. And that's why there was that character limit. So it's interesting to see how technology created the formats of some of these things that we've taken for granted.
And then it grew into, like you said, what YouTube is now. It wouldn't have been possible without in the beginning, but it looked a lot different then.
It definitely did. But man, YouTube is like my everything. When I don't know how to do something, I Google it, and then I'm looking for a YouTube video watching somebody do it. Like I've been working on a snowblower for a week now, and
it's only possible because of the YouTube videos that he's watching.
I'll tell you, last night I laid in bed watching YouTube videos, watching people take apart carburetors from, what do you call them, snowblowers. And it was just like, man, there was a time when this would have been a complete mystery to me. I could have never figured it out, or I would have had to bought a book that wouldn't have made a whole lot of sense. Here's YouTube. Wow.
You might be thinking that this won't be quite as bad the second time around. Well, you'd be greatly mistaken. You're listening to the worst of the Riot podcast.
Netflix.
Yeah.
You know, they raised the prices starting, for me, it's starting March 1st. For you, was it February 1st?
I think I was a few before you, but if it hasn't started already, it's just the next time I get charged for the opportunity to have Netflix, it'll be the more expensive one.
Okay, well, you know what? A lot of people ask questions like, well, what am I getting out of it? Well, guess what I have? The answer. I can tell you exactly what you're going to get. Do you know what was supposed to come to theaters this year?
Well, a lot of things, but it's not
My Little
anymore.
Pony.
Oh, is that what we're getting?
There was going to be a My Little Pony movie that was all set to hit theaters September 24th of this year.
And
guess what?
They called it already? They're not even going to wait till September?
Netflix was like, see, you got a movie there. Got some cash here.
We got to fill a week up.
Shame if something were to happen with that movie, And so, though they have not given it a release date yet, I will tell you, Netflix is getting the My Little Pony movie.
And that's exactly what your increase went towards. That is a part that's a part of it.
That's exactly right. So if you find yourself in a position where you're like, it's a lot, there's a lot of money. Hey, when you see My Little Pony, know that you did that.
Thank yourself because you made that a possibility. Good job, everybody.
Come on. That's you. That's you. Come on.
Anytime you see all the Netflix presents movies and you're like, why did they buy that one? That is a direct thing from you, giving them money. And they thought, well, we now have to spend it on something.
Yeah, well, there it is, Nikki. If anybody's wondering or you're concerned whether it's worth it, the answer is an emphatic yes.
So the My Little Pony movie won't be in theaters at all, or is it doing a shared thing? Okay, so it's all just Netflix.
It will be in theaters in China.
Okay, that's it.
So if you want to, take a hike over to China, slow boat, whatever.
Well, maybe it'll be a good movie. Probably not, but maybe,
Hey, when My Little Pony was like at its apex or whatever, and everybody's like, no, it's good. I was like, all right, fine. I'm going to watch My Little Pony. I think I watched like 2 episodes, and I was like, man, I just
too much.
Can't. Like, if you like it, that's fine. But everyone was talking about how, no, it's got mainstream appeal. Like, you're going to, not me.
Is it healthy eating so many snacks, chips, and Oreos every single morning? No, of course not. But they do it for you.
Too many guys got the stomach for this line of work.
That's real love. It's the Riot on RadioU.
We've got to stop with all the Prozac. Now, medication is a private thing, and Obadiah, you shouldn't be speaking out against it. Nah, man, I'm still taking it. But I'll tell you who needs to stop. Those fish need to stop taking that Prozac.
Is there a story that goes with that then, or where's the fish getting the Prozac?
I don't know. I just know that I have a fish and my pills keep disappearing. What's going on?
Is that what's taking them? I don't know if that's the case.
I know. I go to bed at night. He gets out. He unscrews the child safe cap. He takes a Prozac, drops it in the water, and has a little Prozac bath.
He just lets it fizz and just, fill the water up. Aw.
Man, it's happening. So what this actually is, it is a story about some research that was done in, was it done? I can't remember, the U.S. I'll have to double check on who actually ended up doing. But here's what they did. They did some research sampling water.
It's out of Australia.
Yeah, okay. So they did the research sampling water around sewage treatment plants, and they found that there were high levels of fluoxetine in those sewage treatment waters around the area. So what they did in Australia was they took all these guppies and they put Prozac in their water just to see how they'd react.
Yeah.
And what they found was they were fine. Everything
was just fine.
Everything was fine.
Is it
in
like
fact,
fine or in a Prozac sort of fine way?
It was fine in a not good way, because one of the things that guppies will do, and this is interesting, like they will notice the behavior of other guppies. Mm-hmm. So like, let's say that a guppy goes one way and can't get out or dies or something. The other guppies will be like, oh, I don't want that to happen to me. And they'll do something else. These guppies, Nickies, were just like, it's so beautiful.
Wee.
And in they went.
Aww.
So
poor guppies.
Yeah, one of the things they're talking about is just the idea of what do you like? They don't test for this kind of stuff in sewage water, so they don't know. The overall story is to be like, hey, we need to do better about the wastewater that we're dumping back into the environment because it's having unforeseen consequences.
Sure.
In the meantime, there are some fish out there that have never been as calm as they are right now. They're feeling good.
No anxiety whatsoever. Like, it's impressive.
Well, and the thing I would tell them as someone who takes Prozac, listen, give those fish about 30 days, and what you're going to see is pretty much a return to fairly normal function without the normal guppy depression that they're dealing with.
But they're saying that these fish really shouldn't be behaving this way technically, so it is something that they need to figure out for the water that's going back out there.
I didn't actually know. Well, it is fascinating. If you start looking at medication, you will read up on things like, where is medication metabolized? Because your body actually processes different things in different parts of your body. And so it's like, where does it go? Does it get stored in the fat like vitamin D? Like vitamin C, does it get pushed out, through the liquid? How does it all work? You can read up on that kind of stuff, but it's interesting. I just want you to know that we are right now making guppies happier and calmer than we probably should.
If you missed out on the next Riot moment when it originally aired, you don't know how lucky you are. You're listening to the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Depending on what part of the country you're in, you could be in for some significant snow and or cold temperatures, which could lead to you wanting to stay a little warmer, and you're a little concerned about how you're going to stay warm. Well, Nikki, the Oklahoma City Police Department would like to talk to you about some of your options for staying warm.
Yeah, you should be safe, because if not, you could really cause something dangerous to happen.
I'm just going to get the big one out of the way right now. They say don't use your tiki torches inside.
Oh, my gosh. Enough people have that it has to be a thing.
Yep.
Who would use a tiki torch inside?
Someone who's really cold?
And really desperate, I guess. But
I guess.
You must have a nice party area outside if you got tiki torches. It's just too cold to be out there.
The other thing they said was not a good idea is if you have one of those outside heaters, have you ever seen the ones where it's like you turn it on and the area around it is it's magically warm.
So kind of like the ones they have at restaurants.
Yeah. They're like those outside.
And not inside. But leave the door open. Maybe you can just set it right outside your door. Just leave the door open. Just let it snow inside. It's fine.
The big concern is, and this was something that we saw, I want to say a year or two ago, Australia got some very certain parts that never get cold, got cold. And so somebody brought in their grill and just turn the grill on inside.
No.
And the problem is, what you may not realize is that those devices are, as gas burners, are giving off fumes, and those fumes can, in an enclosed space, could kill you or make you very, very sick.
For like a creative idea of just trying to get some heat in there, but that is not a pass. You're not supposed to bring anything. Anything that you have outside that keeps you warm, do not bring it inside.
Yeah, now the other thing they wanted to get out there, and this is the Oklahoma City Fire Department, fist bump, thanks for doing what you do. They said that if you're going to use a space heater, and some people will, that do not leave the space heater on while you sleep, and do not leave it on if you leave the room.
So you're supposed to just stay with it 100%.
They say if you're not with the space heater while you're using it, you need to turn it off because space heaters are not designed to run 24 hours a day.
I had one once, and I just remember in my mind, because it was during a blizzard that we had, and the whole time I was just like, just stare at it. Just stare at it. Like, don't turn your back on this thing. Don't. Because, I mean, everybody scares you enough with these terrible stories about them, but you are not supposed to leave a space heater. So I don't know what else you're supposed to do, but stay with it. Don't leave it.
I don't know. I get it. Like, there was a winter where my heat was out for 3 weeks, I think. And maybe it wasn't that long. Maybe it was 2. I don't remember how long it was. It felt like a year because it was just like you're just cold all the time. All the time. And so I used some space heaters because I had to. But even then, once you turn the space heater off, you got 10 minutes. Maybe 15.
Well, that's when you bring the grill in, remember? You didn't think about that.
Right.
No, please don't touch your grill.
Well, stay warm out there. Be careful with heated items because you could set a fire. And you're like, no, duh. Yeah, I know. I'm just telling you.
The Riot Radio U.
You know me. I'm always looking for a place for Nikki and I to land once Radio U finally kicks us out. And
once they're finally done with us, where will we go next?
I mean, at some point, that's what's going to happen. All my relationships have ended that way.
Hey, this one's last a while. This one's last a long time. But, in case we can't even continue the podcast, like, what are we supposed to do?
I got something for us, Nikki.
What are we doing?
We can work for Spotify.
What are we going to do there?
Well, Spotify, during COVID-19, they went ahead and they made a shift that allowed people to work from home. And they say that they are changing their culture. It will now be the Work from Anywhere program, which basically means what it says. If you want to be a Spotify employee, you can literally work from anywhere you want to.
Now, they said that you can still go in and check in if you want to, but you're not required. Spotify is one of the companies, because, let's rewind. Let's go back at the start of the pandemic. And then company realized that a lot of us could work from home. Not everybody, but a lot of people could. Then that led to some companies realizing they never have to have people come back in. So, they don't have to have the big buildings, all the office spaces, it could actually save them money. So some of them said they would never go back to requiring employees to come in if they didn't want to. And Spotify was one of the more vocal ones even back then, that they would not ask you to come back in, that you could always work from wherever you wanted. And then that led to people moving to different places where it was cheaper rent, cheaper housing. They could go wherever they wanted to go.
The only thing that I find myself thinking about when we see this is just, okay, you don't show up, but you're still working. Don't get me wrong. I'm not against working remotely, but I feel like when it comes time to fire people and they don't really see you that much, they just get some emails from you and whatever.
No personal connection.
Yeah, I feel like it would be super easy to fire somebody that is working remotely, because you could just send them an email, just like a really good breakup. We really appreciate you, and you're so gifted. It's just that we just don't really have what it takes to have somebody like you. So it's not really you. It's totally us. It's us.
Everybody combined, actually. But so then if you've never been in, you've never personally had a connection with any of your coworkers, they might be more willing because they've never met you, or you guys just do Zoom stuff, or you just do it, all online. That is a good point.
Yeah, I don't know. Nikki, I still think you and I should work remotely. I think we should move to somewhere that is warm and wonderful and just, there it is.
That's where the ride will be.
Come on. I love it. Let's do it.
Worst of the Riot podcast.
So over the weekend, we finally got to see it. What am I talking about? The full trailer for Zack Snyder's Justice League.
I feel like, how many years has it been? Well, how many years since the original movie came out?
I think it came out in 2018.
And then when did they start talking about the Zack Snyder cut?
Okay, it was 2017.
Mm-hmm.
And they started talking about the cut almost immediately after the movie release.
And then I feel like when HBO Max, which is probably almost coming up on a year, or maybe it's a little shy of that, but I felt like ever since the beginning they started talking about, well, the Zack Snyder cut would come to HBO Max, but I feel like we've been talking about this thing forever, and now you're just finally getting the trailer.
I don't know. It looks good. I'm excited about it. I want to see it. I'm really curious now. Everybody's like, all right, now that they're doing this, are they going to keep making Zack Snyder movies for whatever? They say no. They say that there's no plans to make a second Justice League movie, though here's what you know is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
He is going to say, or they're going to say, if it does huge business, you're not going to believe this. Everybody did so much that we are going to, in an unprecedented move,
get everybody back together.
We are going to work off of this. Yeah. I mean, I don't know that that's going to happen, but I could totally see it.
I don't know. They're pretty vocal now of saying no, that this was just a one-time thing to have it, but that they would never continue it with Zack Snyder's vision for another one. But you're right. Never say never. The more sometimes they say no, they're just wanting to see people's response.
They just want to see you start going crazy.
They want to see you staying with HBO Max and putting in enough money that way.
Yeah, that's the sad part is this ends with another HBO Max subscription, at least for the month of March, because they've got that and they've got Godzilla and
there's going to be plenty. It'll keep you busy.
Come on, guys, stop it.
March is actually a month where there's going to be a lot of good stuff that's out there for streaming. So it makes it worth just paying the however many dollars it is. Just keep it for the month.
I wouldn't be surprised if it happens. So there it is. I watched the trailer. Watch it. Let us know what you think of it. 877-2-RADIO-U.
This was the worst of the Riot, and we'd like to congratulate you on having the stomach to stick around to the very end. The Riot exists because Radio U exists, and Radio U only exists because of your support. Find out more and give now at RadioU.com/donate.
What a world we live in where it's okay for an older man to date a younger woman,